it fixed and brought back out pretty soon.
What's up, guys? So we went out on Friday night and we ran a 12.0 at 116 miles an hour, which is that was my first time out with a car. Car was getting a little bit heat soaked. It's definitely different from the Mustang. The Mustang I used to own, IATs in that thing would always stay maybe 10 degrees over ambient outside, if not ambient temperatures, especially in the winter. With the V, IATs would soar, maybe it would be 86 degrees or so outside, and IATs would be at 120 to 130. With the hood up in the staging lanes, IAT2s, let me be more specific about that. IAT2s would be at 140, which is just absolutely killing the timing. It's actually in the range of not adding or pulling timing, but I'd rather be in the stages of adding timing rather than just in the gray area. But first pass getting there, we ran a 12.2, then a 12.1, and then a 12.0. So it consistently got better throughout the night. DA changed a little bit. Water grains went up. DA came down a little bit. But overall, I think in better weather, it's like it's summer right now, and during the day it's been the hottest week so far in Texas. It's been 102 to 108 in the day, and then at night it cools down to about 80, but nonetheless, I think in the winter I have a 11-second car, and it's bone stock. I just have tires on the car, and if you really want to count it, a Speed Engineering mid-pipe, which is it deletes the secondary cats, and it finishes right about where the wheels are. So my half shafts, but I finished it out onto the back. So all we have on the car is a tire, which we're running Mickey Thompson ET Street SS's in 305 45 17s on a 17x11 Ford Star F14 beadlock. And that's all that's done to the car. There's no aftermarket tune, no cat delete, nothing of that nature. So we're just breaking into the car. We ran the quarter mile today. Hopefully later today we can get out to the 8th mile, Houston Motorsports Park, and see what we run over there. But I'm happy with the car so far. I definitely need to work on staging shallow and cutting down my reaction time. It's been a while since I've ran the quarter. I've mainly just been the guy that's been, going out to support my friends and video them running and things of that nature. But I kind of want to be a little competitive myself and step from behind the camera to in front of it, and start running my own car down the track. I wasn't too competitive with the Mustang. It was more of a show car than a race car. It did trap faster than the V, but it was also a lot lighter than the V. The Mustang was, I believe, 3650 with a half of tank of E85 in it, and without me in it. I took the back seats out and basically gutted everything from the driver and passenger seat on back, besides like headliner and things like that. This, I weighed it with me in it at the track. I'm not sure how accurate those scales are, but it weighed in at 4,400 pounds. And then if I moved on the scales a little bit, it weighed 4,400 pounds and 4,405 pounds. So this thing is a lot heavier than the Mustang, and the Mustang did have bolt-ons, but with the tire on this thing, I'm cutting a better 60 foot than I did in the Mustang. The Mustang would usually cut a 2.1, 2.2, which is absolutely terrible 60 foot, but it would gather it all up on the big end and trap at 119, 120, and run a 12.3. But that was mainly because of my 60 foot, and I wasn't getting it together at the starting line. It was more of a top end thing. But I definitely want to start being competitive with this car. What we're probably going to do is we're probably going to get a Pro Speed 4.5 inch intake and cat delete, and then go with Matt Sorian out of Victoria, Matt Sorian tune, and see what we can do with that. But I am looking forward to it cooling down, because it's definitely hot outside, and getting some better IATs, getting some friends out there with me at the track to come, help, give me tips, stuff like that. Definitely ready for COVID to be over, but we'll see how everything goes. We'll try to run the 8th mile later today, and I'll see you guys later. So we are about to head out to HMP. Looking at what the car is displaying for temperature, it is, let me flip the camera around. It is 101 degrees outside. I just started the car up, but IET2s are at 114. They will go up as I start to drive and once the car is parked. But I figure I'd just go there today to work on shallow staging and RTs, leaving on yellow instead of waiting on green. It's hard habit to break, but one I will need to break. So we're just going there to get some seat time in. Probably film some of the cars. I got my gimbal in the bag, so get there, get that balanced, and be ready to roll. So we just made it to HMP. Temperatures went down from 100 to 94. IATs on the way here. I just did a pull before I pulled in, and IAT2s are at 120. Probably going to be the going rate in the night, seeing as it'll cool down as it gets later, but it's probably going to be the going rate. So probably get teched in, film some runs, then make a pass later on. I'm supposed to have a couple buddies out here later tonight. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So we just made it into the gates. We got teched in. The guy at the tech gave me a hard time because he said, the guy at the gate gave me a hard time because he was like, since we're slow tonight, we're going to allow you to run these tires. I'm running a Mickey Thompson ET Street SS. It's the same compound as R, it just has grooves in so you can drive it on the street. I'm doing like the grid walk, looking at the other cars, and there's a Challenger 392 with Michelin Pilot Super Sports as a hard tire. If anything, he's gonna pull up the prep off the track before I am. I'm gonna be laying rubber down. I have soft compound tire, but we'll see how tonight goes. Let's go check out some of the cars that are gonna be running tonight. It's Test and Tune, also doing index races out here as well. So let's go check all the cars out. Jesus. So we're sitting just waiting. I'm not gonna hop in the staging lanes yet, but IAT2s are already at 170, which is significantly hotter than they were the other night at Baytown. I've actually never seen my IAT2s get this hot. I've got the car hood up, letting it try to get some of that heat out of the engine bay. Probably isn't gonna cool down until I let the car run and it gets some air past that sensor. It's cooled down to 93 degrees. I'm not sure if that was cooler than it was earlier, but I am sweating up a storm. It's humid as out here. I just realized I never finished the YouTube video. At HMP, I ended up running a 8.0 at 88 miles an hour, which is down from what I ran at Houston Raceway Park earlier in the week. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I went out there. I lost about every single race that I raced in, but it was index and test and tune. But I was mainly up against cars that were running 5s to 6s in the 8th at way faster trap speeds than I was. I got my butt handed to me by what I thought was a NA 6 gen with an 8-speed. But after he parked it in staging, I went over to let him know, hey, you're leaking coolant. He's like, no, it's the ice box for the supercharger. I'm like, oh, okay. So that car turned out to end up having a Magnuson 2650 E85 and that ice tank I was talking about in the back. So I thought it was going to be a good race between me and him, but he ended up gapping me. I think that's like one of the only runs I have recorded from that night, thanks to one of my buddies, Chandler, that was recording at the track. But all in all, what more can you expect from a stock car? It's literally bone stock, no interior panels taken out. So I'm pretty happy. So I just ordered my flex fuel kit, my DMS flex fuel kit. I still have to order some 1000cc or 1050 injectors. I'm not sure if the extra 50 cc's really makes that much of a difference. And duty cycle, keeping it below 80%. But we'll see. I'll ask the tuner most likely. But DMS flex fuel kit is on the way. Cold air intake is on the way. I still have to get the injectors themselves, and I'm also going to do a cat delete at the moment. I'm on stock pulleys. I don't see any reason to change out the exhaust manifolds and go with, 2-inch headers at the moment. So I have to do all that stuff, and then after I get all those items done, we'll be getting a tune, and we'll see what the car does after that. And then hopefully around that time, it'll be December, and the weather will be colder. I'll be able to, the car will add some more timing in, tune will be more aggressive, it won't be factory tune, and we can hopefully crack into the mid-11s, fair to say, coming from a 12-second car in a 2600 DA to a hopefully mid-11s and hopefully 1,000, if not cooler. Texas winters can get pretty cold, but to a lot better DA, mid-11s. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, thanks. You guys have a good night.